All right, guys, now that you're all caught up, now that you're all painted up and you're ready for some new Battletech miniatures, I've got 3 new incoming vehicles here from Death Ray Designs. And these are 3 of my favorite vehicles in Battletech. I believe if you're going to do combined arms, these are almost auto-include. Not only because what they bring to the table in terms of battle value and tactica flexibility, but just for the sheer fun of playing these units. And now with this introduction of new miniatures from Death Ray Designs, I find that it's an upgrade and it matches really, really well to the new Catalyst plastics, or if you're 3D printing your own force. So we're going to jump in with these 3, and then we're going to break out a little bit separately and look at them in a little bit more detail. So previously we talked about the Karnov as a delivery system for your infantry or packing in an autocannon 20. Warrior attack helicopters. Warrior attack helicopters. This is the Vesper Vtol. There's 2 in a pack. Comes with the flight stand. It's got the blades. Everything's ready to go. 309 battle value. I'm going to focus in on the miniature there. 309 battle value for a very, very fast-moving. We're not even going to get into armor. It has no armor. Very fast-moving autocannon 2 short-range missile 4-pack. If you are playing on the hex maps, your Warrior Vtol will be on top of the target in 1 turn. Talking about outflanking, talking about getting rear armor, talking about being in the right place at the right time. I mean, this attack helicopter is absolutely amazing. And it works well in combined arms because if your opponent is playing vehicles, this is going to get side armor. You know, one of the things that we talk about here, we try to keep our vehicles hull down, hull facing. And I'm summarizing a little bit, but the balance in Battletech is vehicles cost less in battle value. They buy in with more weapons, but they're not as mobile. Certain terrain will bog them down, but also if you're able to hit them on the side, on the tracks, and start chewing them up with motive hits, they quickly slow down very, very fast. And if you're playing with the optional rules, the withdrawal rules, if a vehicle gets immobilized on the battlefield, usually they'll bail from there. So to have something for 309 battle value, I mean, think about, I don't want to say a standard Battletech game. What's the battle value? I play about 5 or 6K battle value. And truly, you can play Battletech at any battle value. 6K battle value, you get a lot of toys. You can easily throw in 2 of these. You can easily throw in 4. I like to work in pairs of 2. So I was really excited to see that there's 2 in a pack because this is a great start. But to be able to outflank, be up there, be hitting side armor, hitting motive, chewing it up, working as a spotter for indirect fire, chasing after other pesky attack vehicles and other flyers, and then shifting over when you engage the mechs to get rear armor for next to nothing. And it moves so fast. I mean, I consider these an absolute auto-include. So then we're jumping into 2 of my favorite tanks. This is the Srm short-range missile carrier. It's the Bodkin light tank from Death Ray. 2 in a pack, and again, really happy to see that because I love running these in 2. Now, for a vehicle, we're talking, I'm going on memory here, we're talking 800 battle value, 820 battle value, let's say around 800 battle value. That's pricey for a vehicle. That's pricey. So right away, it's got to bring that payback to the table. 800 to 820 battle value for something that does not have a turret, and it has very, very light armor. I mean, it's a carrier. 10 SRM 6-packs. You hide one of these in a building. You hide this defensively where someone's going to cross into it. You know, at the beginning of the game, identifying key terrain pieces, zooming this vehicle up, getting it hidden, and just waiting. Any mech is just going to get decimated with that. Lights, mediums, lower end, heavies. It's just insane. So I really enjoy playing this. 10 SRM 6-packs. You print out that battle sheet and you're like, is this a misprint? Is this something up on the tech manual? Fantastic. And again, an absolute auto-include. 2 in a pack. Great. But it's going to take you a little bit of tactica. It's going to take a little bit of tactica because this, the SRM Carriers, unlike the LRM Carriers, at least you've got some range and you can stay away. These SRM Carriers, you got to play them right. But I guarantee you, and that's part of the fun for me, just waiting. I want that tabletop glory. I want it right now, but just waiting for that right moment to strike and just unleash 10 of those. I mean, imagine hitting a light mech with that, some sort of scout, especially if you can ambush it. Can you imagine hitting a medium mech? You'll just tear it apart. I mean, if you got rear armor for some reason, if this tank was hiding, it's just, I'm getting pumped just thinking about it. So I'm excited to add these two to my new collection. Then we jump over here to the Medusa, and this maps to the partisan tank. You want a tank that's got range, has redundancy, has good firepower, right? So I can hit you at range. Redundancy in Battletech is where you have multiples of the same weapon, or at least multiples of the same ranged weapon, because there's a lot of variables, right? You're moving, I'm moving, maybe there's cover, we've got range. So you start at maybe needing a 4, 5, or 6 to hit, and it quickly escalates up. And of course, I'm going to do my best to keep my numbers down. You're going to do your best to keep your numbers up. Having multiple weapons of the same range and preferably the same damage so you can kind of pick the target, the optimal target, is fantastic. The Partisan has four autocannon 5s. And this tank is articulated. It's 3 pieces. We'll pop them off. 4 pieces, excuse me. A body, the turret, and the 2 guns. I've actually got like a whole box full of really, really tiny rare earth magnets. So I'm going to drill these out, and I'm going to make it so my turrets can move, because I'm kind of like that. I like to point at what I'm shooting at for those visual effects. So I appreciate with the molds that really, really detailed, everything articulated, and gives you a lot of options. This miniature in particular, I have the older Partisan tank. For a heavy tank, this is an 80-ton tank. For a heavy tank, it looked kind of light. So I appreciate that they've kind of beefed up the miniatures, and I think that scales really, really well with the new catalysts and the 3D printing. But this tank, for 670 battle value, 4 autocannon 5s, 2 machine guns in case they throw an infantry swarm against you, and 2 of these, just for minimal battle value buy-in, sitting on a hill, in some cover, with range, that's a lot of firepower going down on the table. Chase off that Jenner, chase off those light mechs, lay down some firepower for the mediums, put some damage on the mediums, and of course, if it's part of a lance moving forward, a lot of damage. So I'm going to drop in the info box below the link to Death Ray Designs for these vehicles, for these miniatures. There's also a code, and I'm going to pin this to the first comment. There's a code that's going to get you 10% off. Just get you hooked up, get you ready to go. Get this added to your collection. And of course, I'm a big enthusiast of combined arms, but for me, for the fun, the auto include, no matter what list you're running, Warriors, SRM Carriers, 10 of those, 10. I'm getting pumped thinking about that. And two Partisan tanks for the autocannon firepower. This is going to work well with any lance, with any list, when you're ready to go.